War rages across the mortal realms. New alliances are formed while others lie shattered, and the dominant powers ever seek their next conquest. As these two powerful forces prepare to clash, only one will rise victorious when the dust settles. While this and countless other battles rage on, one fact is becoming clear. The season of war has begun. This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and the FLGS Partners, Warfire Minis, and X-Planet. We just want to say a huge thank you to Games Workshop for providing us with early access to this Battletome, which makes it possible for us to create this early release content for you all.
Hello and welcome to Season of War! Today we are excited to bring you another game of Age of Sigmar. Carl here again to debut another new Battletome.
I guess that's my role now in the channel, debuting new Battletomes, which I'm totally cool with.
And well, specifically this one is your first love.
Yes, my only love, the KOs.
Yeah, so Kharadron Overlords out today, and because it's a new one, we didn't do a vote for this one. And Blades of Khorne haven't been on the channel in a while, so we thought it'd be a good excuse to bring them out. And I don't know, I think these armies just look really cool right now on this table, so I'm excited to get into the action.
Blue versus green.
Yes.
Or red. Blue versus red.
Blue versus red, yeah. Unless you're fighting the table.
Yes.
Shooting all the trees. But jumping into things today, the mission we're playing is in the presence of idols. So we're each gonna have to choose 3 idol units. You get a bonus point for killing an idol with an idol, and then there's also like
half
battle shock. Yep. 3 objectives across the middle. It's hold 1, hold 2, hold more scoring. 2 points for battle tactic, 3 for the grand strat, and that's everything for the mission. So jumping right into it, Carl, do you want to take us through your list?
Yeah, so big changes for KO. The big one that you're gonna first notice is Fly High is now command ability, which means only one of the boats gets to do it. So the days of the corner deploy of your whole entire army and everybody's huddled in the corner is gone. You have to kind of be central to contest.
Made it way easier to get video shots of your army.
That's exactly right. There is other command abilities that you're gonna see used throughout the game, hopefully, that let KO take points now much easier rather than measuring 9 away and deep striking and then trying to shoot you off, then getting onto the points the turn after. My list is also very different than anything I've run because of the shooting has actually shortened. They've shortened a lot of the ranges, buffed some of the combat profiles of some of the units, and given the book a 4-up rally on the Arcanauts. So I have a block of 30 Arcanauts holding my center on Ironclad, which is always my favorite model in the army. It still has the last word, which shoots its main gun at the end of the charge phase. And then a whole bunch of heroes. I took the Phosphorite Bomblets, which is a 2-up and does mortal wound, and you kept rolling until things are dead, which is super duper fun. I have 2 gun haulers, which are kind of in my flanks, and then I have a block of 9 engine riggers with all swords, and a block of 3 engine riggers who are shooting. And so that is my list. It is in the Barak Zon sub-faction, so I get +1 to hit and wound.
Never heard that
when
one
I
before.
charge. Exactly, it's always Zilfin. You might still see Zilfin, but some of the other ones have kind of gotten a glow up, and they removed quite a bit of the artifact, command trait, that sort of thing, so you're free. Plus you get an amendment article in the footnote now for every single one of your armies, and you can choose and customize there.
A lot more,
which is why I have the 4-up rally, and the Arcanauts count for 2 on objectives. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. I deployed kind of quite closer than where I would feel comfortable.
Yeah, often, you were always, like you said, back in the corner, ready to just deep strike your whole army or teleport your whole army to wherever you want
and
to
that's
shoot.
not an option anymore, so I'm very interested. And then thematically, my grand strategy is rule the skies, so I have to have one of my boats alive, doesn't matter which one, and every single behemoth that has the fly keyword needs to be dead. It's very good.
Tough in this one though, because that's all 4 Bloodthirsters have to be killed.
Exactly.
That's actually, I don't think Starbrand flies.
No,
so,
he got his wings ripped off. And you have the potential to summon another one.
That's true,
to deny me later in the game.
Yep.
But yeah, it's good, and they got battle tactics now up the wazoo. So
nice.
You'll see some of those.
Obviously, new Battletome, no FAQ at the time of playing this. So definitely a bit of an exploring the new book. I know you've said even you don't necessarily have the models that you would want for a list.
Yeah.
With how much things have changed.
Even though I have almost everything.
Yeah. But just like
weirdness.
You want to pivot and like double down on something, right?
Exactly.
So a bit of a hobby meta to catch up with new books all the time.
Exactly. But excited for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it in action. And jumping into my stuff today, I'm playing Blades of Khorne, Reapers of Vengeance. So that's basically the main thing is giving me a double pile-in command ability for any of my heroes. It's same list that I've run. We don't have a ton of different options in the range. I want to get more than mortal stuff painted up, but kind of waiting if Blades of Khorne did a new book in the next year or so. Want to see what, before I put tons of effort into painting new stuff, want to see what is really worthwhile.
We have so many armies on the go that
exactly.
Time is limited.
Yep. But in the army, I have 2 units of Bloodletters just for Battle Line, as well as 3 units of Fleshhounds. I have then 4 big boys. I have 2 Bloodthirsters of Insensate Rage. I have the Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury, who has the pile-in command ability, and he's got the Crimson Crown, I think is the artifact, to allow him to use command abilities for free. Scarbrand, as we talked about, and then I have the Slaughter Priest and a Bloodsecrator, who is my general, and he's got Fueled by Durish Rage for the come back to life because he's kind of important. It's nice to have redundancy on your general.
For sure.
Yeah, that's everything for me. I had a couple different battalions, and you outdropped me.
Yeah.
So?
Before we start, you were attacker, so you do get to choose your 3 idols, and then I get to choose
mine are going to be my 2 Insensate Rage and Starbrand.
Yeah, mine will be the Ironclad, the 9 Engine Riggers, and my Admiral.
Nice.
And it's at this point as well that I choose my Grudge Bearer target, which means the Admiral does double damage. I'll do Scarbrand because I'm afraid of him. So
how rude.
The Admiral and Mr. Scarbrand are both
square off.
Mortal enemies. I'm just going to quickly measure something, and then I will see. All right. I will predictably give you first turn.
Okay.
I could have made a mistake because you can auto run 6 and pile in 6. 22 is your threat.
Yeah.
If you're able to get in because you can boom and everything is in the bow,
it could
just boom all my heroes off the board.
If I roll 2 6s.
Exactly. So I didn't want that to happen. So I measured that 22 inches out. I'm out. So I will give you the turn.
Fair enough. And we'll jump into Blades of Khorne, turn 1.
Tempering their rage, the Blades of Khorne battle tactic is a matter of honor. The Bloodsecrator fails heroic leadership while the Admiral succeeds. The Slaughter Priest chants for blood sacrifice on the Bloodletters. Poised to unleash their fury, the Blades of Khorne fail their battle tactic and score 3 points. Wow, that's not a good start.
Alrighty. Blades of Khorne, turn 1. About what you expect from a combat army that can't get to you fast enough. Moved up my screens, hoping not to get doubled, and I have all my big boys in behind, ready for when you come close, and lose priority. And I've got on all the objectives, so you'd have to get me off them, though I had no achievable battle tactic.
Yeah.
So that was rough. I maybe could have deployed a hero over here for a tiny maneuver, got to think about that in deployment.
Yep. Especially if you don't have Tunnel Master. We're seeing that
exactly.
quite a bit in the list now.
And Blades of Khorne doesn't have. They have actually a few good battle tactics, but they only have 3, and they're all involved killing stuff. So nothing happening in the tactic region this turn, but I do get all the objectives. So for hold 2 and more, so 3 points is not the worst way to start. We'll jump into KO turn 1.
Primed to bring their firepower to bear, the Kharadron battle tactic is opening salvo. The Admiral uses heroic leadership while the Bloodsecrator fails. The Navigator uses Aether Storm on a Bloodthirster, dealing 2 mortal wounds. The Arcanauts use At the Double. The first gun hauler opens fire, killing 6 bloodletters. The next gun hauler shoots next, killing just 1 fleshhound. Next, the Ironclad takes out a unit of bloodletters and deals 3 damage to a bloodthirster. The bloodletters use Inspiring Presence. Holding a reserved formation, the Kharadron complete their battle tactic and score 3 points.
Okay, KO turn 1. The output is a lot less. I can't alpha as hard, so I played a little conservative. When the Boom Thirsters get in, they're gonna wreck crap. And so I played kind of cagey, almost failed my battle tactic, but I wasn't able to do enough damage to the 2 units on the side.
Yeah, so to take the objectives.
We're tied. It does put me in a okay position because one of your Bloodthirsters is half move. I have my huge 30 block of Arcanauts in the center with no conceivable space for your Bloodthirsters to land. And they have a 4-up rally, so hopefully they survive whatever hit back if I lose the priority. If I win priority, I keep pushing, or maybe even give you to turn. Not quite sure where we're at, but I think the battle tactics are quite easy.
For KO?
Kill something in the shooting phase.
Yeah. Yep.
And then there's other ones that are quite easy as well, so we'll get to them.
Some decent ones in the KO book.
Correct.
Nice.
All right.
Well, we can jump into priority then. Tied. I went first, so I have choice. Carl, I think, after deliberating, that it's too early to commit and you're not exposed. I may regret it, but I'm going to give you the turn.
Sounds good.
I'll go into KO turn 2.
Surprised at the patience of their foe, the Kharadron battle tactic is gaining momentum. The Admiral uses heroic leadership and a Bloodthirster uses heroic recovery. The gun haulers open fire, finishing off the bloodletters and killing 3 fleshhounds. The Arcanauts shoot at the other fleshhounds, dealing 5 damage. The Ironclad's cannons aim at the Bloodthirster and deal 5 damage to it. Whittling down to lesser demons, the Kharadron complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Alrighty. KO turn 2. Just very non-committal. I just want to get up on points. The Bloodthirsters are really scary and they're very fast, and so I have to just shoot my 24-inch range guns, which is not 30 anymore, and basically just pepper you down. And then there's going to be a breaking point in which either you come in fully into me, or I decide to just close the distance and go in. But I think turn 2 is a little bit too early for that. I do have 30 Arcanauts as a screen, which usually I don't have.
Yeah, so it's different, definitely.
So I do have some options defensively in this new book, and they have a 4-up rally, so hopefully they'll survive whatever kind of hit back happens. But kind of just playing.
Feeling it out.
Yeah. Scarbrand's still super scary. So
Yep.
I have to respect.
And this is where giving the turn away gave him the opportunity. Okay, now if I go aggressive and get priority, it could be spicy.
Yeah, could be.
That's the gamble.
Still have my block of
of
balloon boys just hanging out.
Yes, sir. But with that, I think we can jump into Blades of Khorne, turn 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now ready to unleash the slaughter, the Blades of Khorne battle tactic is the Trial of Skulls. The Bloodthirster uses heroic recovery, and the Admiral fails heroic leadership. The Fleshhounds use Murderlust to charge into combat. The Slaughter Priest chants for blood sacrifice on himself. Scarbrand uses at the double. One Bloodthirster roars the Arcanauts, and the other one stomps. That's gotta be scary. The Bloodthirster Unfettered Fury uses Rejoice in the Slaughter with his Crimson Crown. Scarbrand begins the carnage, dealing 24 damage to the Arcanauts. Using Leave None Alive, the first Insensate Thirster finishes off the Arcanauts. The Chemist attacks next, dealing no damage. The second Insensate Thirster attacks and finishes off the Chemist. Devastating the Duarden, the Blades of Khorne complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Well, Blades of Khorne turn 2 was pretty effective.
It's a pretty good turn.
Yep. 30 Arcanauts down and a little hero. No explosions, so no mortals into the boat, which would have been just icing on the cake. And yeah, that's everything, right? What else is there to say? Scarbrand not even popped out. He just did his thing.
He just does his thing.
Normal
this
thing.
is what he usually does.
Yeah. Did the move. I charged in the hero phase actually to take away your redeploy, because a redeploy of even 1 could have pulled Scarbrand out from the pile in 6.
Yeah.
Or like
would have been very impactful. That's what I was counting on.
Yeah. And it stopped the Unleash Hell, so none of my Bloodthirsters got shot on the way in.
Yeah.
Though I still could have charged them first.
60 shots at 3s, 4s, rend 1 damage will dent most things.
Yeah.
Coming in.
Yeah, so definitely a hard hit, obviously. And as hoped, it set me up for a potentially devastating double turn.
Double turn, yeah.
With priority here.
Yep, for sure.
And with that, yeah, we can jump into it.
Bud is here, so I will roll up a tap dice.
All right.
1. That's another 1.
So we tied there. And because you went first in this round, you had choice. Did we not tie with 1s on the first priority as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you win ties this time.
So I have to take it. You're down my throat. I have to do some work. I have some plays I could do. Hopefully dig myself out. But 4 Bloodthirsters, I don't think I can kill all of them in one go, which means you do have a strike back still. But it'll be very interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, let's see what we got left after we have a KO turn 3.
Needing to unveil their own firepower, the Kharadron battle tactic is eye for an eye. Thank God they won priority. The Admiral fails heroic leadership, and a Bloodthirster uses their finest hour. A Bloodthirster uses Murderlust to charge into combat. The Ironclad uses Disengage. Both of the gun haulers deal 2 mortal wounds with their bomb racks. The first gun hauler deals 4 damage to the Bloodthirster, then the other gun hauler deals 4 more. The Endrinriggers shoot at and finish off the Bloodthirster. A small unit of Endrinriggers shoot, dealing 1 damage. The Ironclad shoots at the Bloodthirster, dealing 4 damage. The Bloodthirster roars the Endrinriggers, then uses all out defense. The Endrinriggers dive into combat and take out the Bloodthirster. The Fleshhounds and Gunhauler both fail to do any damage. Womp womp. Taking out 2 greater demons, the Kharadron complete their battle tactic and kill 2 idols to score 5 points.
Alright, KO turn 3. I set out to kill 2 Bloodthirsters and I accomplished it.
You did it well.
KO has combat?
Yeah.
Question mark?
They showed it.
Especially with Zon, which is +1 to hit and wound when you charge. It just makes it so that they 2s and 2s, 2 attacks apiece, D3 -2 rend. They can chop, and they had pretty good shooting. They finished off the other Bloodthirster, then finished the other Bloodthirster in combat.
Yeah. It would have been, you didn't even roll your D3s, but on average it would have been
14 wounds.
16 because it was 8.
Yeah. So 16 wounds on something that was.
So they could, they would one-shot a Bloodthirster.
Yeah, and that was technically a 2-up save.
I was all defense and finest hour.
So they do quite a bit of work. We're gonna see the downside of them now, which is they don't have a very large wound pool and they have a 4-up save, so they're gonna melt the Scarbrand for sure, 100%. But they did do their work, pulling their weight, and it's nice to see Balloon Boys because, like the cover art of the KO Battletome, they're the identity of what the.
We haven't seen them on the table in a long time.
Exactly. Again, this is very different from what I run. Very happy with the combat prowess.
Yep.
We'll see if they can survive.
Yeah, no, it is great. Honestly, I thought I did the finest hour and then charged that Bloodthirster in. I was hoping he would be more of a distraction. Yeah. But with using the command ability to be able to retreat and shoot with your boat.
Yep.
It freed you up to take load it, take
shoot
out 2
at
of
what
them.
I need to be.
So.
And like KO is very good at targeting a unit and saying, hey, do you want all-out defense? Oh, you want all-out defense? You just keep sequencing until you have to, blow your load into something, and then at that point, either they've already all-out defense on something else,
or you got all those shots through before they commit.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's some tricky sequencing that you can do with it. The nice thing about the retreat and shoot command now is there's no stipulation of the thing it can't be flying and all this stuff. So a lot of the small nitpicky stuff that was in the old KO book is gone, and we have a more pure expression of what it should be.
Yes, sir. But you didn't take out my other unit of dogs.
Yeah.
On the other side, so you only hold 1 objective.
Yeah, my battle tactics are still quite easy. I still have a couple in the bag that I could just pull out and potentially win the game with. But having 3 objectives in the center is very difficult for KO.
Not ideal.
Yeah. It's best at times, but still struggling.
Yeah, we're gonna let's see what happens, and we'll jump into a Blades of Khorne turn 3.
While their patron rejoices of the bloodshed, the Khorne battle tactic is eye for an eye. Scarbrand fails heroic leadership while the Admiral succeeds. The Slaughter Priest transfer blood sacrifice on the Fleshhounds. The Endrinriggers redeploy, moving 3 inches. Skarbrand starts off the combat and takes out the engine riggers. The gun hauler deals no damage, then the unfettered Bloodthirster takes it out. Continuing the carnage, the Blades of Khorne complete their battle tactic and kill an idol to score 6 points.
Well, Blades of Khorne turn 3 was effective as we expect. Skarbrand gets in, deletes a unit. There's not really much to do to derail it. But we're both dwindling. We both have like powerful pieces left. We didn't mention it, but you did get 2 idle points on your previous turn.
Yes, the 9 men killed both Bloodthirsters.
Yeah, I would have gotten 1 here with Skarbrand. And yeah, as we jump into it, let's go into turn 4. That's a 2 for me. Carl, it's all you.
I will take it, of course.
Sounds good.
As Jaina goes crazy.
We'll jump into a Kharadron Overlords.
Thanks, Jaina.
Turn 4.
Getting more and more desperate, the Kharadron battle tactic is blast him to smithereens. The Admiral fails heroic leadership, and Skarbrand uses their finest hour. The Navigator uses Aetherstorm on the Bloodthirster and Fleshhounds. The Endriggers use at the double. The Admiral shoots at Skarbrand, but deals no damage. The Gun Hauler also shoots at Skarbrand, similarly dealing no damage. The Ironclad deals 4 damage to Skarbrand and takes out the Fleshhounds. Skarbrand stomps the Admiral, dealing 2 mortals. The Admiral fights Skarbrand, dealing 6 damage, and just needing 1 more hit. Angered, Skarbrand fights back and takes out the Admiral. So close to taking down the disgraced Bloodthirster, the Kharadron complete their battle tactic and score 3 points, but Khorne also scores 1 point for killing an idol.
Alright, KO turn 4. I had to throw the Admiral in because he does double damage against Skarbrand. Rolled quite good saves. Each shot from the pistol is 4 damage and each hammer hit is 6.
Yep.
So because of finest hour, you're able to save. In all of defense, you're able to save. But I mean,
did 6 damage in combat?
Yeah. So good. My Ironclad's still alive, but I'm starting to get crimped on points. This is kind of classic KO. And Skarbrand's kind of free to do what he wants. The other Bloodthirster is quite far though, which means that hopefully he doesn't have the ability to pile in 6, because that would be bad news bears for the Ironclad.
Yeah, we're always got some tricks in Khorne. As Carl looks at my blood tithe. Yeah, always got some sneaky things up my sleeve. But yeah, that's about it.
Yep.
Jump into Blades of Khorne, turn 4.
Ready to end their foe and collect their skulls, the Khorne battle tactic is gaining momentum. Skarbrand uses heroic recovery and the Navigator uses heroic leadership. The Slaughter Priest chants for Blood Boil and takes out the engine riggers. The Unfettered Thirster uses at the double. The Unfettered Thirster uses Rejoice in the Slaughter with its Crimson Crown. Skarbrand fights first and takes out the Ironclad. The Bloodthirsters pile in and deal just 4 damage to the Gun Hauler. Destroying the Duard and flagship, the Blades of Khorne complete their battle tactic and kill an idol to score 6 points.
Alright, Blades of Khorne turn 4.
Yes, sir. Nothing too surprising against Skarbrand.
Yeah.
I mean, he fought twice this round, or in both combat phases, so he won't be at his best bracket next round.
Yeah, but I mean, doesn't really matter. I'll most likely kill him with my heroes, just because they are able to do some work.
Yeah.
But because of how far you are in score, I think we could just talk out the last round.
Yeah, so I'll get 5 points. Actually, 5 for the score, and then I killed a idol in your turn as well as my turn, so it's 7 for the round. Jaina, you're so loud. So we can just roll priority and then talk out the final turn. That's the 6 for Team America.
That's another one. Apparently, in this edition, can't win priority rolls.
Yeah, so at this point, I'll get my 5 points. I can do Desecrate, so automatic battle tactic, and likely kill the boat and just try to avoid the heroes kind of thing.
For sure.
Heal up Starbrand. And
for sure. Yeah, a lot of tricks. It's reminiscent of Iron Jaws, where they have mighty destroyers and they can get around.
Yeah.
I had a lot of built-in tech in my list to combat armies, but things that pile in 6 is
just the tech in Khorne.
Yeah.
People, I think, it's so underestimated, right? Like charging the hero phase, moving the hero phase, fighting the hero phase. I didn't even fight once in the hero phase, but those abilities, just the moving ones, are so impactful.
Yeah, and you just have to be aware of them every single time you play them, right? I was so scared of. I was basically doubling your threat ranges every single time because you had the Blood Tithe available, which meant that my shooting wasn't as effective because I need to close in 12 to really do the output. But having 4 big boys means I don't have nearly enough attacks to take all 4 of them out at the same time.
And that's the thing. We saw how quickly you could take them down, but being that part of it was in combat, you're so danger close that if you're doing it top of round or lose a priority, key priority, you're close enough that I'm getting into whatever's there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but so this first game with the new KO book, though. Initial overall thoughts?
The shooting output and the alpha potential is much less. In the previous book, what I would do is fly outside of 9 of you, drop the Purple Sun in the middle of your army, which is still possible, and then retreat backwards and then shoot. A lot of the ranges on the Ironclad went from 24 inches for the 6 shots to 12, which is incredibly punishing. I don't know why they potentially did that.
Limited their range
so much because a lot of the output that I have is 12, and 12 is easily catchable, like I was saying at the top of the video. With that being said, though, all the units in the book are very playable. I played with the heavy Balloon Boy list this time. I'm getting some more Thunderers painted up because they are good screens. Against any other combat army, again, I have the tools to Unleash Hell, then Last Word, then Supremacy Mine. And so it's a combination of all that means that even if your opponent threw something in to eat the Unleash Hell, you still have other tricks to hit the thing that's going to kill it. Also didn't showcase the ability of the boat to heal because it has the ability to heal 3 from the Engine Master at the start of my hero phase, and then each engine rigger rolls a dice and heals that thing, and it's once per turn A, and B, it's at the end of any phase. So if, for example, your opponent has a mixed arms army which has magic, shooting, combat, trying to take down a 20 wound 3-up save Ironclad, you could just say, hey, I'm just gonna heal right after you did your shooting phase, so that it's much less reliable.
Healed up before combat.
Exactly. So there's a lot of small tricks that you could do. They are much less mobile too.
With the limited fly high is a huge difference.
Fly high. You saw how I had to move my boats up. I mean, gun haulers are still quite fast. So I think they are going to be very good. It's going to take some time to get used to. I have played like 100 games of KO probably in the previous edition, and this feels very different, but at the same time still keeps the same identity of the book. Khorne was just a difficult matchup, and it's going to be the same for Iron Jaws. I didn't bring
slaves, those like super fast combat armies.
Yeah, but the thing with slaves is they don't have a out of phase
movement
charge, and so if you're charging me in the charge phase,
you're okay with that,
using all that things, and you're not going to get a +1 save from all defense. I'm actually crimping in damage, and you would have to push through 20 damage on a 2-up save
Yeah.
model, which Slaves is able to do,
Yep.
for sure. But
They're taking those hits.
they're
on the way
taking
in.
those hits on the way in, for sure. I also wasn't able to deploy my phosphorite bomblets because of the ranges that we were in. I think, thinking about it now, I think when you gave me the second turn, I should have potentially just gone outside of 3 of the dogs, shot them off, charged a boat in, and then killed 2 bloodthirsters, and then chanced my phosphorite bomblets to either heavily hurt a third
Yeah.
one or kill a third one.
Yeah.
Because I was able to kill 2 bloodthirsters pretty comfortably.
Quite easily, yeah.
Yeah.
Should went down at half and then killed it twice over in
Yeah.
combat.
Yeah. So I think I'm still in the mindset of the previous KO book, which is retreat and shoot, retreat and shoot.
Yeah.
But I think I needed to be a little bit more aggressive based on the list that I took.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had the damage, but you weren't. You could have put 7 more wounds on Starbrand, right, and then take him down. That next turn, you put 7 wounds into him.
Yeah. Because I also allowed you to Finest Hour, then Finest Hour again.
Yeah.
So if I went in that one turn, you Finest Hour one of the Bloodthirsters, I try to kill everything else, and then that one Bloodthirster versus my whole entire army is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
And that's turn 2. It's even just from a point standpoint. Then we're fighting off the points where I have the gun haulers just capping everything
Yeah.
else. I think would have been a smarter play.
You want them just trying to like chipping
Yeah.
shots, dealing with chaff units, but not
engaging fully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
taking the brunt of
Yeah.
anything.
So this is how I played KO before when I first started, which is the hyper aggressive, like all-in strategy.
Yeah.
And then I kind of became a smarter player and became a shoot maneuverable player. But I think I need to go back to
Yeah.
the thinking where I just punch people in the face and
At some point.
and play an end game, like a much more strategic end game.
Yeah.
But the beginning has to be a quite a bit hard punch.
A little bit more aggression.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Well, as we said, Blades of Khorne got lots of tricks and showcased some of them again here today. Always a fun army. Always cool to see the big monsters running around. But that about wraps it up for our match here in the debut of KO. Definitely to have them on again. Did some more games with the new army.
For sure.
And explore the new Battletome. But that's going to wrap everything up for us today here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that match, and we'll see you soon in another video.